Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So the portal is alight with the lovely yellow hue, meaning it is time to pull some shards. It turns out that our prediction was somewhat correct in that there is a POGO event going on right now for sacred shards. Pull one, get one, for those who don't know, aka a bonus legendary event. The precedent for this was set by the Thor fusion, which was also a hybrid style similar to that of the Mad Hatter, and that one also had a bonus summon rush kind of near the end of the fusion, where there were extra fragments for the epic up for grabs, and so my expectation was that we were going to see a similar style of event, and that did come to pass. So let's go ahead and take a look at the summon rush, because of course we were never pulling without a purpose here on my account and on the channel. So in my case, relative to the fusion, I participated in the champion chase, but I did not pull any shards, and if you want to see how I pulled that off, you can check out the video in the card up above. But essentially, I banked the 25 fragments from that one for the summoning events, and then I skipped this most recent, the basic summon rush, so I didn't get 25 from there. I've done every single other event being offered, and thus I only need 25 fragments up for grabs from this bonus summon rush. And again, I was strategically waiting because I was hoping, expecting, whatever you want to call it, that this would have a POGO event attached to it, on top of having to pull a similar amount of sacred shards to guarantee ourselves the fusion. So 3,000 points here for the lower milestone, which is exactly the same as it was for the summon rush over the weekend. And so regardless, we're going to have to pull at minimum 6 sacred shards. But if we do happen to get unlucky, we don't proc the POGO by then, which is quite likely for reasons we'll specify in a bit here. I wouldn't mind going a bit further because there's a couple legendary tomes up for grabs. We can get some extra bonus fragments to use towards High Mother Maud. And if we get super unlucky, we can get some legendary fragments for the event style relic, mythical tomes, and so on and so forth. So why is it unlikely that we're going to get a legendary in the first 6 summons? Of course, we can pop up the mercy tracker on the screen. Link in the description box down below if you want a copy of this for yourself to use. But as you can see here, we are 7 sacreds in, meaning we are not in mercy. Pulling 6 will get us into mercy, but we won't be that far into it. And of course, there's no 2x going on right now. So we're at the base summoning rate of 1 in 16 chance. Now, of course, from there, the odds will increase with every subsequent sacred because we are going to be in mercy. And so it's not a bad idea in this situation to just go all in until we get the double legendary, because it's going to be worth it in the end. Or at least I should say it could be worth it. Let me correct myself. So on top of the POGO event, there is also a progressive chance events going on right now. There's one for today. There's a set of champions, and I believe the theme is just block debuffs champions. And there's one for tomorrow. I actually don't know what the theme is. Oh no, I think it was shield champions for tomorrow. But today has more enticing champions for me in my account. I've spoken many times how I do kind of regret in hindsight not having gone for the guaranteed event for Elva Autumnborn probably over 2 years ago now. And so I would like to get her on my account. Just by happenstance, I do already have Final Blade of Aravia because of a previous summon pool. And then I also have Kaj of the Rai here, who was a different guaranteed champion, but Elva don't have. A pardon you'd think I have, but I actually was on a hiatus during his fusion, hiatus from the game. And so I didn't actually complete the fusion, so I don't actually have him on my account. And then Manaya I just haven't really pulled. But that's all fine and dandy because we're trying to focus our efforts here on securing the Elva Autumnborn. While we're here in the portal, might as well go over my overall shard count on my account at the moment. 784 on the Ancients, 238 on the Voids, 60 on the Primals, and then 73 on the Sacreds, which of course we'll be dipping in today, and we're going to go all in on the POGO. However, there is, I guess, a small chance, 1 in 16 chance, that we happen to proc it in the first 6, and in which case then we just stop because we don't really need to go any further than that in the summon rush. But again, I don't expect that to be the case, but I could be proven wrong. What's also interesting here is that we have a merging of 2 different types of events, and the tradition for both is kind of different. Normally for progressive chance events, I try to focus my luck on the champion that I select, but in this case, it is a POGO event on top, and so we're going to get more than 1 legendary, so we might as well go over the overall wish list of legendaries on my account. And the first one being, of course, Poison Exploder, Xavia, or Eleanoril. Number 2 being Molly Tankard. Number 3, no surprise, Elva Autumnborn herself, so she is in the top 3 on my most wanted non-void legendaries. Number 4 is Duchess Lilitu, and number 5 is Lord Chamfort. And of course, I do expect to get a decent amount of epics along the way, so any and all duplicate epics for empowerment will also be fairly handy. So without further ado, let's get into the pools. We've got tons of space, we've got a decent amount of cash, and hopefully we can get some pretty decent luck. But in fairness, I've been on a fairly hot streak lately, so I do think we are due a little bit of a dry spell, at least for getting the double legendary. But let's dive right in. First sacred, let's see what we can get. I'm expecting a plethora of epics here, and we have Lady Booby Bell, very famous for being able to solo Bommel the Dreadhorn with her passive here. She basically just heals off of the minions, but I don't use her for that purpose because I do have a Nishak ally attack team, so I don't have need of her services. Tashada, pretty decent champion. She got buffed maybe like a year and a half ago or so, and she now has a 3-turn cooldown revive, which is pretty nice. I use her in like one secret room in the Doom Tower. That's about it. But maybe she could also help people in the Cursed City, depending on who you have for the barbarians, and she is an epic after all. Sacred number 3. Let's see what we can get from this one, and it's going to be Rearguard Sergeant. Not bad. A pretty old school champion, one of those like a decrease attack ally protection champions. Pretty useful if you're just starting off for like building a nested ally attack Demon Lord clan boss team. And she also brings decrease attack to help you stay alive, as well as decrease defense on the A1. Can provide a little bit of healing as well. Sacred number 4. Let's keep it going. Another epic, as expected, Miscreated Monster. Mr. Classic when it comes to beating the spider dungeon in normal mode with the giant shield on the A2, just because there's a ton of enemies and you hit them all, and so you can build up a massive shield and protect your team. Haven't used him in a long time, but I think, you know, Doom Tower secret rooms once again, and the Cursed City for a little bit of damage, a little bit of stun, but also the ally protection and synergy with his passive to provide a little bit of CC with the fears can be quite handy. Next sacred here, what are we gonna get? Another epic, and it is both the Rancid. I've heard people say like good things about this guy, but I'm not really sure why that is. He has increased accuracy on everyone, a little bit of a cleanse and a heal, and then decrease accuracy here on AoE. I don't know, increase accuracy, decrease accuracy. I don't know, it's like a baby Lady Kimmy vibes going on there, but I don't know. I don't know why people are so high on this guy, but let me know in the comment section down below if you're a fan of both the Rancid and you do make use of his kit. So moving right along, another epic here, Zargala, old school champion, still a pretty decent debuffer. She definitely fell out of the meta, but she's still serviceable in like Doom Tower secret rooms, anything like Epic Orcs I think is one of them, and then of course in the Cursed City as a debuffer stroke nuker. Next, Sacred, well, let's keep it going. I believe we are past 6 at this point, so we are past the minimum required, but we're going all the way in until we hit the double legendary. Juliana, I think she got a buff fairly recently as well, and she hits decently hard now. Decent amount of debuffs with the burn and the poison, so she's kind of like a Demon Lord clan boss DPS champion, but I don't really think she sees much play outside of that niche. Keeping it going, more epics. Kaden, for the longest time, I'd never pulled a Kaden. He was one of the few epics that I hadn't pulled, but he's kind of like your quintessential faction war style champion. Decrease attack AoE to take less damage, and a double revive here with increased defense and half health. Pretty solid champion. Could probably see some play in the Cursed City as well if you need him to keep your team up and running and protect them. We have Bovos Sharphorn. I guess this is Bof's brother, and I honestly don't know what he does. Increased crit rate, increased damage. That's not a super useful thing. And then the mirror, I guess, wow, look at that. Both Skinwalker epics do mirror versions of their buffs and debuffs. But yeah, probably not the most useful. I've never used them, and that's all you really need to know. Legendary, here we go. We got it, and starting off with a Robar. That is definitely not an Elva Autumnborn. And the second one is a King Galkabar. Okay, at least that's new. We'll take that. Did not get the Elva, unfortunately. But like I said, we've been on a lucky streak lately, so this is fair. This is balance. This is all is right with the world, that we're not just getting every single legendary we want to back to back to back. But yeah, King Galkabar, decent champion. He has a full cleanse here that can flip all debuffs into continuous heals, kind of like the upgraded version of Grunge Killjoy. This can be a significant amount of continuous heals if the situation's right. Really strong in like hard mode Dragon, for example. And then kind of the inverse here, he can remove all their buffs, and he'll place poisons for every buff removed, which generally speaking, you don't really want your enemies to have buffs, and so you don't really get that much play out of this ability, but nonetheless, it's pretty decent. And I think he also has a tiny bit of usage in Hydra. Granted, it's a block buffs for only 1 turn, so it's not the most efficient. And then on the A1, he can place a little bit of a shield. So he's decent. I think he's kind of like a Dragon hard mode cleanser type champion. But other than that, I don't think he gets to see a lot of play. And then we have Robar, which is a very, very old school, used to be like one of the hardest hitting nukers in the game because of this ability here, where it increases his damage if the enemies are under any form of CC. And that used to be like one of the most hard hitting abilities in the game. And I think he's kind of been usurped by a lot more modern champions. But yeah, he's just kind of a nuker, AoE decrease defense if you build him with some accuracy, chance to stun on the A1, but it can get him an extra turn if he does get the stun. So kind of like, you know, Faction Wars champion, Doom Tower Secret Room champion, and or Curse City champion. So not bad at all. I think in the end we pulled down to 63 on the sacred, so we spent 10 sacreds. We did not get the Elva, but we did hit the Pogo, and you know what, we walked away with a new legendary, that being King Galkabar. Let's see how far we managed to get in the summon rush of 5,000. Of course, we can do math here on the channel, so we'll take it. Legendary tome, and we got some epic fragments. If I really wanted to, and I probably might still do it, but I could pull like 500 mystery shards just for the sake of getting all the way out here, just to get the extra fragments and put it towards Maud. So I might do that off camera, of course. But yeah, let's collect all of these goodies, most of them at least. We got some epic roll here on the relic, a rare roll on the relic. We'll take it. This completes the fusion right here, this 3,000 point node, so we'll definitely take that. We'll save the energy for later, and just in case there's some other important event coming up in the near term. But yeah, we'll take it. Not too bad. 10 sacreds is all it costs, so I guess that put us like 5 shards into Mercy, so not bad. Not a crazy unlucky streak that I was predicting there, but yeah, we'll take that. And then hopping over here into the index, let's take a look at our new champion, the clear out the red dot, King Galkabar. We'll take it. I guess, what is it? Oh yeah, I forgot. He activates poisons when you're under a shield if they're poisons on the enemy. So once again, reinforcing that he's pretty decent in hard mode dragon, or I guess any form of dragon, maybe the nether spider as well, but she's kind of she takes less damage to poisons. As far as faction guardians are concerned, I believe Robar is a duplicate, so we'll take advantage of that and slap him in there, so we get some extra accuracy and resistance for the orcs. And I'm trying to think of who that actually benefits. Artak comes to mind, so that's pretty strong for him. A little bit extra resistance, a little bit extra accuracy. Varl, that's good for him. He's get a little bit more accuracy for Hydra. I do have him built that way. More accuracy for Iron Brago. Maybe I can build him for a little bit more damage and sacrifice a little bit of accuracy. Accuracy for my Gomlock. I do run him in lots of places. Curse City when applicable, and most importantly, or most notably, on my Sand Devil team. So Tila as well, pretty decent champion. I have her built, I think, oh actually no, I've stripped her gear. She's not built like she used to be, but yeah, I think she could benefit from the accuracy and the resistance. All right, so that's going to do it for our shard pulls for the bonus summon rush to complete the Mad Hatter fusion. We walked away with one new legendary who might be useful. We'll see. He is a support in the Curse City. Buff strip could be pretty useful, especially if you're turning all the buffs into poisons in case the enemies get turns. And then he can also serve as a cleanser and healer for the team with a shield. So maybe we can get some use out of him in the Curse City. Duplicate Robar is good for the faction guardians. In terms of the epic, I think it's a little bit of empowerment for Zargala. She might be a +3 or a +4 now. Tashada, I think, can go up a little bit. Rearguard Sergeant, I think, will be +2. And then Miscreated Monster, I think he will be +2 or +3 as well. So lots of epics for empowerment. We'll take it. And the rest of the epics we obtained will be turned into 5-star chickens eventually. Let me know in the comment section down below if you were also participating in the Sacred Pogo event. And of course, let me know who you got. Very, very curious to know if you guys got anything good, better, or worse than what I got in my session here. As always, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.